James.
Well, I mean, look, you say that it's a war against everything that makes modern life possible. It is a real nihilism. It's a real Marxism. We've spoken about this offline, Ralph. But it's also, this is just one battle in a much wider war. What are the practical implications for this policy? Will the Mark Rutte government still go down this path? Will farms still be destroyed? Will agricultural production still be damaged by these policies, even with these election results?
Well, there are two things to be said. One is the Dutch political system is very consensus-oriented. So there's definitely a chance that the Rutte government cannot simply ram it through, because that would be received very negatively by the Dutch population. At the same time, of course, the BBB, the Farmer Citizen Movement, falls into the same political culture. So they also will have to show some willingness to compromise. However, what I would say is, the Dutch farmers have always shown willingness to compromise. Their main problem was not to reduce emissions per se. The main problem was the time frame by the government. So if the Dutch farmer citizen movement can give more time, if they can negotiate more time, I think this problem from an environmental perspective, and that's a separate question we have to discuss, could be resolved. Now, the bigger problem is the Dutch have the same problem that we have in the wider West. We have completely disconnected ourselves from all the things necessary for modern civilization. It's not just agriculture, it's energy, it's nuclear, it's all these kind of things that we need. It's an autoimmune disease from which we are suffering that we turn against this. We have created a culture. Think about the Oscars, for example. It's Avatar, it's Lord of the Rings. Like the industrial guys, the ones with machinery are always the bad ones, and the kind of noble savages who live in harmony with nature are always the good ones. And this is the problem we have. We have to start to look at this as the culture where it is. This is also true in Australia. So maybe in the future, I don't know, instead of a drag queen story hour, maybe have coal miner story hour.
Hey, now you're talking.
We're in for that.
Have your kids spend a summer on a farm, on an oil rig, and not do an internship with an environmental NGO that's very often nothing more than a grift. So, and I think this is the direction we have to go. This was a one battle in a broader culture war on which we have to build. So it's not just the World Economic Forum. I think the bigger problem is that it's the woke economic forum.
Yes.
And one key definition, I would argue, of wokeness is they have a problem with accessibility to the comforts of a modern life for the masses. They want to keep it for themselves, but they want to close it off for many others.